For those of us that have grown up in Western countries, and specifically the United States, it's hard to imagine a world dominated by evil. And when I say evil, I mean specifically, I pinpoint the culture, the demonic culture of communism. A few decades ago, our grandparents, our grandfathers, fought the great evil of socialism, more specifically, the Nazis in Germany. The next decades afterwards, we spent fighting, not in a physical sense, but opposing this great evil called the Soviet Union. Lenin once said that a socialist is just a communist waiting. Or somebody else put it differently. He said that a socialist is just a communist with great patience. Communism and socialism are now in vogue. For the past couple decades, it's becoming more and more prominent. Many countries in Europe, Portugal included, where I came from, has socialist parties and communist parties and all that, and democratic, and they all fight for to be the party in power. And so far, true socialism and communism has not prevailed. That doesn't mean that will not prevail in the future. Same thing in America. It has become very prevalent to be a socialist and even a communist. We even had a self-proclaimed socialist in Bernie Sanders that many people applaud. I was not one of them. I know, even though I have never lived under a socialist or a communist country, I've studied enough, and I know the evils of socialism and communism. And in fact, the most fervent speakers against socialism and against communism are the people from the Eastern Europe, from the ex-Soviet Union. People from those countries, they know what it's like to live under communism, under this iron fist of communism. And people that live under freedom, people that live in countries that give them freedom, like the United States, they don't know the evils of socialism. They think it's cool that the government can give them stuff even though they didn't work for it. They think it's cool that somebody who makes $100,000 or $200,000, that those millionaires, as they think they are, should give them their stuff, the stuff that they work for, and give them to these other people who have done nothing to earn those things. Now, if you live in New York City, $200,000 is nothing. If you live in Louisiana, $25,000 may be a lot. So when you have this mentality that you want to take from those who have and give to those who don't want to work for it, you have this group, this group of people with the mentality, with the mindset that they don't want to work for what they want. They don't want to get their hands dirty and go to work every day like I do. They don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, work 8, 10, 12 hours, 16-hour days like I've had to work. And they don't want to work through cold or through heat. They don't want to do any of those things. They want to sit home in their mother's basement playing video games. And they think that, well, that guy over there, he has a huge house, he's a millionaire, he makes $200,000 a year, he has nice cars, he has nice this, I want to have what he has. So I think that socialism or communism is a great thing, I think I should have at least half of what this guy has. Well, that guy He probably gets up very early in the morning. He goes to work. He works hard. And he makes whatever money he makes. And he has whatever stuff he has. You, on the other hand, you sit in your mother's basement. You play video games all day long. And you do nothing to merit those things. When you get up early in the morning and you go to work and you buy things with your own money, not money that the government has given you, then you'll know the value of money. And when you know the value of money and where money comes from, then you'll know that the stuff that you make should be yours. It should not go to somebody else. Now, if that person that makes a lot of money, if he wants to give it away, that's his business. But if the government comes and takes that money from the person who earned it and gives it to some lazy bum who has done nothing to earn it, that's stealing. That's communism. That's socialism. Socialism is just a communist with a lot of patience. Comes socialism, then communism. And guess what? Communism is not for the masses. Communism is only for, actually I should say it the other way around. Communism is for the masses. Communism is not for the people on top. The people at the bottom, those people will now have a share equality of misery, because you should look no further than Venezuela, a rich country full of oil pools ready to be sucked out of the ground. Rich country. Dirt poor right now. Why? Because of communism, socialism, because of Hugo Chavez and people like that. People are over there dying because they have no food. Look at the pictures of the people living there, the conditions that they're under. That's the result of socialism and communism, where the wealth is distributed, but not to the people at the bottom. Only the misery is distributed to the bottom. The people on top are not under socialism or communism, because those people are well fed. Those people have whatever they want. The leaders never lack anything. Those at the bottom, the minions, those will share the misery. Because now there's no incentive to go to work. There's no incentive to produce. There's no incentive to do anything. Now, in our society, in our free society, you can choose to go to work like I do, and I have obligations, or you can choose to travel around. I wish I could travel around seeing America and filming all the time. I wish I could do that, but I can't. And I'm not speaking ill of those people that can do that. I'm not. But if you choose not to have a job like I do, if you choose to do nothing, then you cannot be envious of the people who have more. Because the people who have more, they have worked for it. You have not. I have not worked to have yachts and big houses and luxury cars. I haven't worked. I haven't earned that money. I'm not envious of the people who have big yachts and nice sports cars and big houses and travel on first class planes or have their own planes. I'm not envious of those people. I'm not envious of rich people. Because guess what? All my life, all the jobs that I've had, I've only had those jobs because people with money create those jobs. I've never gotten a job from a poor person. Only the people with money that choose to create something and choose to have employees hire people. I've never gotten a job from a poor person. Now, if you are poor, then maybe that's what you chose. Especially if you live in a country like the United States. Or maybe you had some bad decisions and different circumstances that have brought you down to being poor. But don't be envious of the people who have money. I'm not envious of those people. I have what I have. I choose to have what I choose to have. This is the life that I chose. I can't blame anyone for not creating my own company or to going to a field that pays more money. I've chosen what I've chosen. I'm not envious of my boss. My boss has what he has. I have what I have. But under communism, there will be a share of misery. Everybody will be miserable because you have no freedom. Right now, if you live in a democratic society like the United States or many countries in Western Europe or other countries across the world, then you have the choice to demonstrate, go into the streets and demonstrate. You have the choice to protest. You have the choice to disagree. You have a choice to have different religions, different than mine. It doesn't matter. But under communism, guess what? You can't go out into the streets and protest because you'll be arrested or killed, and you'll have no say. You just can't do it. If you live under communism, you cannot do the same things that you do under a free society. You just can't. They won't allow you. And if you think you can, I challenge you. I will pay for your plane ticket. Go to North Korea. Go over there and protest the fat boy on the throne over there. Go protest that guy, that moron. A guy who feeds himself well and has minions around him. Meanwhile, millions of people around him are starving to death. They're not allowed to have a Bible. If they have a Bible or other religious book, they will go to prison. Their grandfathers will go to prison. Their mothers will go to prison. Their children will go to prison. It's not just them. It's not just you if you go over there. If your family lives there, you're all going to go to jail. So you protest in a free society because the free society gives you that freedom to do that. You go to a communist country and see what happens to you. Go to China. Go to North Korea. Go to Venezuela. Go to Cuba. Many of you know that Lidia came from there. Her parents had to flee Cuba because of Castro. Some of my family are communists. It pains me that they are communists. And I've told them on Facebook. One of my cousins unfriended me on Facebook because he didn't like the stuff that I said back to him. So if I'm not afraid to speak up against my own family, I'm not afraid to speak up against any of you. Because if you think you live in America and you want a free handout, who's going to pay for that free handout? Where do you think that money comes from? Socialism will exist only until the money of others runs out. I'm paraphrasing Margaret Thatcher. If you think socialism and communism is so cool, go to one of those countries. Go to the ex-Soviet Union. Go to the eastern countries of the ex-Soviet Union. Ask the people over there how beautiful and how wonderful communism was, and they will tell you. Go to North Korea and see what it's like. Go to Venezuela and see what it's like. When a government tells you that you have to buy something that you don't want for a price that you can't afford, for something that doesn't work, so that others can have something for free, that is wrong. That is theft. That is not a free society. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Under communism, there is no religion. Communism is its own religion. There is no worship. If you are gay, and I'm not against you because you're gay, I'm against your sin. But if you are gay, guess what happens in a communist country? If you think you're going to have the same freedoms that you have now, if you think it's cool to be a socialist or a communist, go to one of those countries. Go see what it's like. Because there, if you are a Christian, you will be forbidden to worship your Savior. Whoever you are, whatever you worship, you won't be able to do it over there. Your freedom to protest is non-existent. You can't protest. Your liberties will be taken away from you. Your homes will be taken away from you. You won't be able to own a home. You won't be able to own it because the state will own you. Nowadays, it's in vogue to be a socialist. It's the end thing. It's cool. By these little punk kids that have never seen what true socialism and communism is like. People think that it's cool to take from those who work and give it to those who didn't work. That is stealing. You want it, you go to work and you earn it for yourself. If you don't go to work, don't complain that others have more than you do. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him nothing came into being that has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. John 1:1-5.